Spring breaks have come and gone, but FEA hasn't rested in fighting for our public schools. Hi, I'm Andy Ford.
And I'm Joanne McCall. The testing bill was a hot topic in the Senate last week. The committee substitute for House Bill 7069 was debated over a span of 2 days.
Several senators expressed frustration with the testing system and the bill overall. The biggest complaint? It wasn't a big enough step in the right direction.
I'm done with the testing program in the state of Florida. I'm done with the accountability system. Whoever those people are out there, from whatever foundation they may be from, whatever testing groups they may be supporting, I'm over you. You've lost my confidence. And the reason you've lost my confidence is because I've got emails from you last night that said that you're so married to this system that you don't have a shred of common sense left. That you're going to tell me that children you know are going to hit a test out of the park have to take it anyway because you need their student assessment data in order for you to measure teachers in schools.
Everybody has a threshold by which they measure whether or not they're going to support a bill, and it varies for everybody in this chamber. And we heard Senator Gates, President Gates, talk about what his minimum threshold was. Mine was simply that we were going to hold kids harmless. That's what I decided at the very beginning of this. And unfortunately, we didn't get there. And we hear a lot of talk about how this is a good first step, but I'm still not sure why we just have to take a step. I really don't know why we can't go further. I haven't really heard a good reason. And to me, you know, having kids take a test this year that may or may not be counted against a school grade, to me, is not a good reason for us not going further.
The bill ultimately passed. Here are some other highlights from the legislative session this week.
On Wednesday, the Senate Appropriations Subcommittee on Education unanimously approved a bill aimed to improve the technology infrastructure in schools and standardize district technology needs reporting. The Digital Classrooms bill, sponsored by Senator John Legg, comes amid some school districts' complaints that they lack the technology necessary for online testing. The recent rollout of the new Florida Standards Assessment, for example, was marred by computer glitches and excessive testing times. In 2014, the legislature appropriated $40 million to support digital classrooms this school year. The committee substitute for Senate Bill 1264 would require additional planning by school districts, the Department of Education, and others to improve digital devices and technology infrastructure in schools. The Senate has proposed to increase the digital classroom allocation to $80 million and wants to make sure the funds are well spent. Another bill heard this week was the committee substitute for Senate Bill 948 by Senator Don Gates, which has grown in scope. It includes both an extended day and a required summer school session for struggling readers, in addition to the extended day for the 300 elementary schools with the lowest reading scores. This seems to be a priority for the legislature this year, as both the House and Senate have included this language in bills that are moving through the process. While we're paying close attention to our state legislature, we cannot forget that the latest version of No Child Left Behind is also under consideration in Washington, D.C. The latest Senate draft was released on April 7th and will be heard in committee at 10 a.m. on April 14th. The new version of NCLB is to be called the Every Child Achieves Act. It maintains the mandate for annual testing in reading and math for grades 3 through 8, but puts more responsibility back on the states for decisions about accountability and evaluation systems. Be sure to watch for updates this week and let your senators and congressmen hear from you about this critical legislation.
There has been a lot of discussion recently on FEA's position on class size. We are here to reassure you. Class size has always been an important issue for FEA. Our position has not changed. No other organization has invested more time, energy, and money to defend Florida's class size amendment than FEA.
The bills under consideration simply do the following. They require districts to direct money calculated for the class size penalty to the schools in violation of the caps. This will aid them in reducing the class sizes that are over the caps.
The penalty money used to go to the state for potential redistribution. We think it makes more sense to keep the money local so that schools in need of help can receive it.
The Florida legislature has not appropriated nearly enough funding to help schools meet class size caps. School districts have even gone as far as helping the legislature to find ways to avoid these caps by gaming the system.
These bills provide the first step to forcing compliance. However, they do nothing to change core classes and other issues that need to be addressed. At FEA's insistence, the bills require districts to make their non-compliance information public and provide that information to the advisory council for each school. Parents and voters still support strong class size caps, and the FEA does too.
We need to remind the legislature where funding needs to go. Contact your legislator. We can't stress this enough. Give them a call, write them an email, visit them in person if you can. The more we keep the conversation going, the more we can accomplish.
Stay connected. Take part in the conversation on feaactioncenter.org. You can also sign up for our weekly frontline reports on feaweb.org and follow us on Facebook and Twitter.